it wasn't scary like that, but I had the right people to teach me. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a time where I opened up my third eye, but it was already activated. So really, I transmitted my own beacon, my own energy, and it's like, in a way, it was kind of scary because I thought I was going to pass away. I thought I was going to die or something like that. But that's where it's like, we don't fear death. We're not supposed to fear death because death is an illusion in a way. And death is actually where we come from, which is why we are always talking about sacrifices and shit like that.
So recite these words and these in my eulogy, so that the future me might know how the world might influence me.
But I wouldn't say that it was always scary. I'd be like, the only scary part is knowing your own demons, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like saying we have our own dark side pretty much, and that dark side is who we actually are, your pure melanin side in a way. That's like when people go to sleep and they be afraid of their dreams or something they see in their dreams, when really it's just themselves seeing themselves, but they're not used to seeing how they actually are, you know what I'm saying, or who they actually used to be and shit like that. As I begin to see things, it can be difficult to understand what's real or fake. Well, yeah, for that, you would have to know, it's like saying you have to know the difference between what's real and what's fake to even be able to, you know, like I said, know the difference. You know what I'm saying? Because the difference between, like, the difference between the right and the wrong side or something like that is just knowing the difference. You know what I'm saying? You have to at least know the difference to know where to go. That's like playing a game and not knowing who the enemy is. You know what I'm saying? That's the game right now, the game of life right now in a way. We all have our own enemy. And the first enemy is getting over yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because you are your own worst enemy. So that's where it's like you have to understand the real and the fakeness, or the truth and the falsehood of yourself, and not even worry about everything else. Because when you do learn stuff, you have to go to specific people. That's why I charge people when I be talking about $5 questions, or, you know, finding out their numbers and shit like that. I charge people because the only ones who're supposed to know are the ones who seek the information, the ones who are willing to search and find and shit like that. So that's in a way how you know the difference. Well, one way you know the difference, but when it comes to the duality and the polarity and stuff like that, like, it's really about who you learn from. You know, like me, for example, I teach about the light and the dark. Like, when you have people who talk about the light or how they are light workers, all they do is talk about the light. They don't talk anything about darkness. When you have people that only talk about gods, all they do is talk about gods. They don't talk about the parents of gods, you know what I'm saying? They don't talk about where gods come from or who is actually above the gods, you know what I'm saying? Like, I talk about both of those things, because to be a real awakener or a real teacher, you have to know every single class. It's like going to school. You go to college or you go to high school, you have like 5 different classes, but in each class it's either the same teacher or it's 2 different teachers, you know what I'm saying? Like, for me, I'm the same teacher in each class, but other people, they go to this person for this class, this person for that class, that person for that class, and it's jumbled up. You know, it's too much energy, it's scattered, you know what I'm saying? It's not really focused. It's like being a receiver and getting signals, you know what I'm saying? You're getting a signal from right here, signal from over here, signal from over here. You're scattered like a chicken with his head cut off, you know what I'm saying? So that's why, you know, especially being on the internet, it's being on the internet, it's like 50% real information, 50% bullshit. Because if you pay attention to what's on Instagram and how people post, you realize that everybody pretty much has the same post, has the same pictures, has the same quotes, has the same everything. And that's because it's recycled, you know what I'm saying? That's because it's the bullshit. You know, most of them got it from the people who suppressed us anyway. Exactly. I appreciate the insight. How long did it take you to perfect your knowledge? Let me see. I would say I knew this stuff before I was even born, but I knew this stuff at childhood. But I would say how long it took me to really perfect my knowledge would be. I feel like I want to say 5 years. Because I could say, like, okay, when I grew up and stuff like that, and when I was a child and stuff like that, but I already knew this stuff when I was a child. So really, when I grew up and my brain was still developing and stuff like that, and I was still had to deal with my own experiences, I would say at least 5 years. Because, my hair, I had my hair for 8 years. And it was a time period where I wasn't able, like right now, if I was talking to a woman that I liked or something like that, I would be able to tell her anything about everything. But I would say 3 years ago, or maybe even 2 years ago, I wouldn't be able to say everything that I'm saying right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and like saying it the way that I'm saying it, you know what I'm saying? That's why I talk about both sides of the tree of life, both sides. Because, there's two sides to the tree of life, and it was just 11:11. It's all a distraction, shaking my head. Damn right. That's exactly what it is, a distraction. But yo, like, hit me up in my inbox because I got to do something real quick and I actually got to get out of here. So I definitely appreciate the conversation. You already know we can always have conversations and shit like that. So just hit me up.